ladies and gentlemen, if I told you the day I've had, you wouldn't fucking believe me. So this morning we tried to do a sequel to the Pub Standard Liège football video that we did at the end of last year. The key word in that sentence is try, because it was an absolute disaster. You may see some clips from that, you may not. That video may never see the light of day. Wonderful start. I decided, I'm gonna come home, I'm gonna do a gaming channel video, make myself feel better, might be good. Recorded 30 minutes of gameplay, then the game crashed and I lost all of the footage. Just absolutely fantastic. So, hey, the verdict. Third time's the charm, baby, let's do it. Hello guys, how are you getting on? My name's Aaron Kelly, welcome back to The Verdict. We're doing a slightly different angle. I quite like it actually. I've only got like a ring light on there and my on-air sign is on here, so it's a nice kind of contrasting lighting going on here. So yeah, hopefully you enjoy it and hopefully you go on to enjoy this video. I'm going to keep it nice and simple today because when I've tried to overcomplicate things today, it's backfired horribly and everything's gone wrong. So we're going to just talk about Chelsea. We're going to bring it back to basics and talk about Chelsea's 2-1 defeat to Aston Villa there on Saturday. So, I mean Monday by the time this video is coming out. So yes, Saturday indeed. Chelsea lost 2-1 to Aston Villa at Stamford Bridge. A really, really poor result. Villa now, don't get me wrong, are a very, very good side. They're on something like a 11-game winning streak now, which is just absolutely incredible. They deserve a lot of credit, as does Unai Emery. But Chelsea were well in this game, and in fairness, in my opinion, probably should have won this game. There was a lot of chances, lots of opportunities. Chelsea all over Aston Villa in the first half. They do get the opening goal, Reece James's corner, seemingly going all the way in, but João Pedro did get a touch on it on its way in, and it really did look like Chelsea were going to go on and dominate. But so often has been the cause of Chelsea's downfall in recent times is the lack of a clinical edge going forward, and that was the problem. Once again, I don't think that's any kind of exaggeration to say there was a lot of opportunities there, a lot of chances to kill off the game really, and ultimately it did not happen, and Chelsea go in 1-0 up at half time, something I think we would have all taken considering how poor Chelsea have been playing wise. Not all the results have been terrible in December, but generally Chelsea's performance levels have been quite poor in December, as they usually are in the month of December, I think it's fair to say. But we would have taken a 1-0 lead at half time, and that is exactly what we got. But ultimately could have been more, and you always had the opinion that Aston Villa were going to grow into the game, and I think the commentators on Sky Sports said it, that they couldn't continue to play as bad as they were playing basically, and they certainly didn't. They come out a different side in the second half, and Ollie Watkins obviously comes on, and Unai Emery's changes, I think in general, were far better than Enzo Maresca's. Enzo obviously was up in the stand serving a touchline ban, having collected too many yellow cards in recent times, Enzo Maresca, so he was serving a touchline ban. But the changes were very questionable. Cucurella came off when he was doing a fairly good job, I would have said. Maybe he had a knock, I'm not too sure. Malo Gusto came on, Gittins came on, he was very poor for Garnacho, who has been awful. I think Estevao was the last of those to come on, and I'm sick to me back teeth of seeing Estevao Willian not getting the minutes that I believe he deserves. And generally, by and large, it seems like a lot of Chelsea fans believe that he deserves to be in the starting 11. Cole Palmer obviously starting as well, and he does not look back to full match fitness yet. I think it's fair to say Cole Palmer, he's a good bit off it. I know he scored against Everton, but yeah, very much a case of he doesn't look back to his full match sharpness. And look, there's always going to be mistakes in the defence, and that's ultimately where Chelsea's downfall comes. Ollie Watkins was left unmarked for what ended up being the winning goal. Trying to play out from the back goes horribly wrong, backfires badly for Badiashile and the rest of the defence. But I think they were let down by their forward line the other night, based off the fact that there was lots of chances, plenty of chances for Chelsea to put the game away, and they didn't. And that's the difference between Chelsea and the sides above them in the league now. And as that result now means, of course, that Chelsea are no longer in the top four at the end of 2025. And the results in recent times reflect why that is the case, because overall a lack of consistency. A lack of consistency, I think, has been the main issue. Not a strong enough squad, and that's crazy to say considering Chelsea have spent something like £1 billion on that squad. It's absolutely poor. Like, I do question a lot of the decisions on the transfers in the summer. It was clear, even before Levi Colwill got injured, that Chelsea needed to get a centre-back. Still playing without a recognised centre-forward. João Pedro does a half-decent job up there. Liam Delap shouldn't be anywhere near the pitch. I think he's well out of his depth at Chelsea, and ultimately Nicholas Jackson don't think was up to the standard anyway, but he is obviously on loan at Bayern Munich, and that problem was not rectified either. So a striker, a proper centre forward who's going to get you 15 plus goals in a season. A centre back would have been absolutely brilliant before Levi Colwill got injured, but then Levi Colwill got injured and that wasn't rectified. Obviously I had a lot to say about Robert Sanchez at the start of the season and how disgraceful that I thought it was that he was coming in to be Chelsea's number one at the beginning of a Premier League season. I think it's fair to say Rob has proved me wrong. I think he's been, barring a couple of stinky moments and hairy moments here and there, I think overall, by and large, Robert Sanchez has been good for Chelsea this season. But overall, the team just lacks balance. We spent too much money on two wingers who ultimately I don't think are good enough. I really questioned why we were breaking our backs, bending ourselves backwards to try and get Garnacho into the club. I thought that was crazy decision making by the board to start off with. Jamie Gittins came in as well for 60 odd million. He looks well off it too. So ultimately, do Chelsea have the ability to go out in January and sign a player or two to maybe rectify some of these problems that we're seeing? I don't know, but look, a season which at the start of it, looking at the squad that they had and given the success of the Club World Cup and seeing that Chelsea can raise themselves for big games. We've seen it plenty of times. Barcelona, Liverpool, I'd argue Arsenal was a very good performance, and Chelsea potentially unlucky. If that red card for Caicedo doesn't happen, they could have gone on and won that game. But ultimately, a season where Chelsea could have and maybe should have been challenging for the title given the amount of money that was spent on the squad, is ultimately just kind of dribbling out into what is another kind of lackluster race for top four, I think, ultimately. And it's not really good enough considering the amount of money spent. And like I said, I do think the money was spent in the wrong areas. Chelsea could have gone and got a centre back, gone and got a clinical striker. Didn't do any of those things, and now once again we're kind of limping into the new year of 2026 with a squad that I don't think is good enough, and it's leaving us in a position where top four is the absolute best that Chelsea can hope for this season. Maybe go far, potentially in the Champions League, but form has been very inconsistent and patchy there as well. And I think fair play to Aston Villa, fair play to Unai Emery, to the board. I think they got their recruitment absolutely spot on in the summer, and Unai Emery should just be let do whatever he wants at this point. I do think he's a manager that has the credentials to bring Villa to that next level. Do I think they'll challenge for the title? Ultimately, probably not. I do think they'll fall off at some point, and it will be between Arsenal and Manchester City. But they're on a hell of a run at the minute, and if it continues, I believe actually Villa have Arsenal next in the new year, so that should be very, very interesting indeed. But Chelsea fans, let me know your thoughts on the game and the season so far in the comment section down below. I'm praying, I'm crossing my fingers and my toes that there's nothing wrong with this video and everything is good, and we can get this video out to you guys by 6 p.m. on Monday. So if it's gone out by 6 p.m. on Monday, you can assume that things have gone pretty well. So thank you all so much for watching this video and all the videos throughout the year of 2025, and the support on this brand new channel of mine has been great. So thank you all very, very much for that. Enjoy your new year, and yeah, have a good one. Take care and peace.